John Brown from Negative to Positive is with me right now. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, I've been trying to get you on this show for quite some time, and you was part of a different band at the time. So, glad to finally have you on. You did some changes in there. I want to talk about this band that you're on, man. From negative to positive. So, so before we get into that, um, what got you started as a musician?
Well, honestly, I've kind of, been a singer my whole life, but I got into the guitar when I was about 17 years old, and there was a German exchange student that came over named Henning Makrama, and I seen him playing a Fender Strat, and he was playing like Pantera and Sepultura and Metallica, and I was just like, what is this? And so, like, from there, I was like, okay, I got to get a guitar. I got a guitar, and I really wasn't any good, and I really didn't understand it that much. And then I met another guy the next year by the name of Joe Reams, and he actually was the first guy to me chords and taught me some power chords and bar chords and kind of got me started on my way. But music's kind of always been in my life, but the guitar didn't come into a little.
So I first heard of you through a band that you was a part of once upon a time, Soul.
Yes.
And then also heard you. You did collaborations with a hip hop artist by the name of Hybrid the Rapper.
Yes.
So that's how I first heard of you, and been following your career since. And now
I
you're.
appreciate you.
So I've been following your music since then, and now you're part of a band called Negative to Positive. Um, so how did this band came about?
Well, as you know, Sacred Souls I did for a while, Heart and Soul, I love that band, everything, that band. It was just, it got to the time, we had that release through Revolver magazine, really different things here and there kind of slowed the process. So with the help of those family friends, they spoke with me, told me that, just maybe I might want to try something solo, and if I was going to go solo, that I had some people that would help me kind of put the band together. So what happened was I had some songs pre-recorded, talked to one of my family members, Kevin Holycross, and he was good friends with Kanky Laura, who had played in Soulfly and Straight Line Stitch and also played with the Mark Rizzo band. He had contacted him and said, hey, I have somebody who's a songwriter and wanted to see what it might sound like with you playing drums on some of the stuff. Would you be down? Well, Kanky said, he would be interested to listen to what my music was all about, and if he really liked the music or if he got into it, then, we could talk further and, go from there. Well, as you can see where we're at now, he must have, appreciated, liked the music or something, because now we're 10 songs later into the first part of a 20-song box set, which I did with Kanky Laura on drums, and then I also had Joe Veers play bass, sing harmonies, and play, a little bit of accent guitar riffs here and there, and he's also the engineer and co-producer on this album. And I also had a few other musicians involved, Chris Steberl, who has his own instrumental project as well called Project Alcazar. Those guys are pretty awesome as well. It's just all instrumental, but man, are they really good. And then I've got a couple cats from the band Starset. The cello player Jonathan Campy is playing a few songs on the Lose Yourself 2, which is coming out later in the year. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then the drummer, Adam Gilbert, is playing on Lose Yourself 2. But we kind of went from, doing this one song with Kinky to where it just kind of blossomed to, next thing you know, I did the first song, which was Little White Lie, and I did that with Kinky. And then Joe was saying, at first it was just going to be a solo project. It was going to be 10 songs. And he was like, I could get another one of my buddies, and that was Adam from Starset. Said maybe he'd come in and play a song for you or something. And then when he came in, first song I played with him was This Is Where I'll Be, and that's on Lose Yourself 2. And, man, it was incredible. And I just got this crazy idea that, hey, why don't I do a box set? I've got these songs that need to be recorded. I've got all these top-of-the-line musicians. Why don't I make a go at it, and let's try to see if we can make a box set, because I've always kind of the one to make. But as fate would see it, we're going to have to wait on the box set, but we're going to be releasing the Lose Yourself 1 CD first.
That's awesome, man. Definitely looking forward to it as well. I played a couple of songs of yours earlier. I played Wanna Fall in Love and In This Life, and definitely dug those records. Definitely, I like them, man. I like the records.
Thank you.
So I know a lot of bands have stories and meanings behind the band's name. So what made y'all decide to call yourself Negative to Positive?
Well, really, it's kind of a funny story, because I was going to name the album Negative to Positive, and it was going to be like kind of after my nickname, which is Gunner. And when I started trying to develop and go from there, come to find out there's a band that's getting ready to jump from Europe that goes by the name of Gunner, and they've already got a lot of merch and stuff. So it's like, well, I really don't want that headache. So now we're trying to figure out the band name. And then one day, Adam, Joe, and myself is in there, and Joe just was like, well, why don't you name the project Negative to Positive? And it just clicked. It was like, why don't we name it Negative to Positive? And it was probably a minute later that I came up with the concept that we would call it Lose Yourself 1 and 2, and that's how we would split the box set up.
That's nice, man. And Lose Yourself 1 and 2, definitely looking forward to hearing the rest of the material. It's going to be very dope, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like, I'm a fan of all types of music. Obviously, I'm most of a hip-hop person, but I play all types of music, especially since me being involved in the local music scene here in Lexington and all over central Kentucky. Plenty of talented local bands out there that's doing their thing. And you're an Ohio guy. You from Columbus,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. Lexington, I made a home with Sacred Souls, but as I've moved on with, Negative to Positive, I kind of moved back around to where my hometown is, and we brought the band out of Columbus, and it just felt like the right thing to do to bring it out of Ohio. And man, it's just the whole Negative to Positive thing is just, taking those things in life that are negative and, not letting it beat you down and turning it into a positive, and just showing people that no matter, what you face in this life, no matter what kind of obstacles, with a positive attitude, you can always make it through any kind of situation.
Very, very true. And I lived in Columbus for as a matter of fact, I lived in Ohio for a decade, over a decade. I lived in Cincinnati for 7, and I lived in Ohio for 4 before I moved to Kentucky. Lived in Lexington, then Frankfort, Lexington, and then I went to Georgia for 6 months and came back here as of 2012, and now I'm back in Lexington since 2015. I'm a Buckeyes fan, football fan.
So did they teach you about that OH?
Yes, IO. You already know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there.
And I believe in Urban Meyer. I believe in Barrett and company and the recruits that we have coming. You know, it's all about redemption.
Oh, yeah, you got to believe in them Buckeyes, and to have Urban Meyer as the head coach. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
If you're going to go through the list of college coaches, I don't care who you are. You want Urban Meyer. Yeah, you can say Nick Saban. You can say Les Miles. You can say whatever you want. But when it comes down to it, people's going to say they want Urban Meyer.
I'll take Urban Meyer.
Yeah, I'll take Urban Meyer every day of the week.
You know, he resurrected Ohio State after the whole debacle with with Tressel.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, tattoo gate.
And I appreciate what Tressel did. I appreciate what Maurice Collette did.
Yeah.
I appreciate them. They one of the biggest championship games of all time. I watched that game. I mean that Miami team, they had literally pro prospects in every single position. All we had,
I recorded that game.
I mean, all we had was Clarinet. I forgot the quarterback's name, but Clarinet.
The quarterback was Craig Krenzel.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
He was an engineer.
Yeah, and the ESPN 30 for 30 brought up some good times, and unfortunately brought up some bad times too. But
oh man, come on! I mean that was a great win, great season, but we truly lost what could have been, the greatest collegiate running back of all time.
Oh yeah.
But that's a here nor there because it never got to that point. And there's been too many great running backs since then, so he don't get a stay in it because just that's the way things happen. But boy, did he really took over in that game in the championship.
Oh yeah, he definitely gave that team hope. Everybody, all the analysts, all the know-it-alls picked Miami to win that game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I just wanted that game to be competitive and close, and hopefully Ohio State can pull through in the end. And to their credit, they did.
Closer, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, man. People were like it was gonna be a blowout. It was gonna be no contest. Like, wow, Ohio State is even in this predicament, and we won. So
see, this is what I love about the Buckeyes. Is it doesn't matter where you go, man. Buckeyes were everywhere. I mean, here we're on a Lexington radio show that we got Buckeye love. I mean, there's nothing like it.
And I love Ohio. I've had good times there. I've been to a Ohio State Buckeyes basketball game. I've been to a football game. I've been through that atmosphere. And,
so you know that love.
So and while
for my Wildcats too. I mean, don't get me wrong, them Wildcats.
Yeah.
Well, something else to watch, especially when it comes to basketball.
Oh yeah, Coach Cal. Similar to Ohio State, he resurrected Kentucky basketball.
He did.
So,
and
so in addition to the box set and Lose Yourself 1 and 2, have y'all booked any shows that you got working on for the remainder of the year?
Actually, I've been doing like some acoustic shows with the lead guitar player of the project, Chris Deverell, and getting out there, just getting people primed and ready, because with everybody's schedule, trying to figure out when we can possibly launch the CD. I think we may have finally dialed in a date that we're going to have the CD release for Lose Yourself 1. And which that is probably going to end up being October 7th. And we are currently, speaking with the Holland Theater in Bellefontaine, Ohio. Some might call it Bellefontaine, but if you're a local, you're going to call it Bellefontaine. And it's where I was born, so I figured, what's the best thing to do when you're breaking out with a national project than to bring it home to where it all started. I was born there. I grew up in Indian Lake, which is 15 miles from there, and Indian Lake's my home, but Bellefontaine is where I was born. So, and there isn't no real big venues to bring a show like that. So we're going to try to bring it to the Holland on October 7th. If we can work out everything, get the details right. If not, then we may take the show to Columbus, and it'll be one of the venues there. But we do have a tentative release date of Lose Yourself 1 of October 7th. And then Lose Yourself 2 because, of course, with Adam and being, in Star Set, and they're doing excellent right now. I mean, those guys are doing amazing. Monster is doing great on the radio. It's doing great on the charts. I mean, it's getting played everywhere. I'm so stoked for those guys. But because of their tremendous schedule, it's put a hold on Lose Yourself too. So, I'll probably hold that off till around Christmas time, near the end of the year. But that's when the box set will be available then, is around Christmas time. Things that's actually going to be with the box set that makes it different than just getting the single CD is there's also going to be a lot of behind-the-scenes footage on how this album was made and have a bunch of, fun and, just comical times. There'll be a lot of drawings of our mascot. If you've seen any of our merchandise or if you've seen the cover of the album yet, we have our awesome mascot, Ray Lightning, for Negative to Positive. You'll see all the different sketches on the DVD part of the disc. You'll get to see how Ray Lightning came to life, how he started from just a pencil sketch from one of the most amazing artists you'll ever meet, Joby Barney, who is just incredible. And then he was the physical drawing artist, and then also the other artist on it was Pasha Sandwick. And between these guys and the concept created by A.J. Satterfield and myself, it's just really, really, really cool to see how this character started from just, a few rough sketches of, hey, we're going to do it this way, we're going to have him this angle, and that's what was so great about Joby is he just had so many different ideas, and he had them quick off of what our concept was. We gave him the concept, and he went away with it. So that'll be on there. There'll also be, a lot of, behind-the-scenes notes that we're taking that you get to see how things were put together in a production sense. And then we'll be talking about the comic book and 3D animation coming up for Ray Lightning as well.
Awesome, man. And for people that wants to learn more from the band, upcoming shows and music, where the website and social media links people can go to?
The website is n2p.us. And also, you can go to negativetopositive.com, which for the two in between the negative and the positive is just two I's. It doesn't matter if they're lower or capitalized, but it's way easier to remember, n2p.us. And then on Facebook, it's just Negative to Positive. We also got a Negative to Positive official YouTube where you can check out some of the lyric videos that's been released. And then on the Facebook and the website, you'll be able to keep up with the new video that's going to be shot for the upcoming single. And you'll get behind the scenes of the upcoming single as well. We'll be in the behind the scenes also.
It was great chatting with you, John. Thank you so much for being on the show. And truly appreciate it, man. And looking forward to hearing more music from Negative to Positive moving forward. and continued success, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate, you having me. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate you, and God bless.
Absolutely, man. You have a good night. Have a good weekend.
You as well.
All right, bye-bye.